And speaking of fun, we've got a jam-packed episode lined up for you today. From community events and activities to heartwarming stories and maybe even a few surprises along the way.
And of course, we'll be keeping you up to date with all the important news and announcements from right here at Freedom Village.
So, grab your cup of joe, settle in, and get ready to start your week the Freedom Village way.
Stick around, folks. The Monday morning show starts right now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, my dear friend Noah.
And happy Monday to all of you. It is another fantastic Monday. We hope you are having a great start to your day and a great start to your week. How are you feeling today, Ashley?
I am feeling so good.
So good?
So good.
Oh,
It is a beautiful day, and we have such an exciting week planned ahead. How are you feeling today, Noah?
I'm pretty excited for what's to come this week. There is a lot to look forward to, and I'm feeling pretty stoked about it. But before we dive into the schedule, let's take a quick look back at some of the fun moments we've had over the past few weeks. Grab your coffee, sit back, and enjoy this slideshow of memories. Wow. Wow, what an amazing few weeks it's been. So much fun, so much laughter, and so much mystery.
That's the best part. Now, let's talk about the exciting schedule we have coming up this week. There might even be some mysteries. Plus, it's packed with some really cool activities. Starting today at 9:30 this morning, we are hopping on the bus and heading down to Fenville for a color tour and then stopping for some cider and donuts at Crane's Orchard.
Or any treats you wish. Maybe pie?
That's true. Get a pie flight.
Maybe, who knows, something delicious.
Obviously, it's at Crane's.
Yes,
What else can you
absolutely.
expect?
And the color is really starting to peak
Finally,
now, so
yes.
that will be a great ride. At 10 a.m. on Tuesday, we have our monthly park pioneers heading to Grand Ravines. They'll be off to the Grand Ravines Park for a nature walk and some lovely fresh air.
And hopefully some color as well.
Probably some color as well.
On Wednesday at 2 p.m. in the auditorium, we have a wellness event about social connections. We are joined by Lindsay Wesseldike from Evergreen Commons, and she will be discussing the importance of social connection as we age. It's going to be an insightful presentation and followed by a Q&A session. You won't want to miss it.
And on Thursday at 7:15, we have a very exciting program.
What is it?
I can't tell you anything about it.
Wait, what?
It's a mystery program, so you don't know who is going to be there, but we'll have someone wonderful. What I can tell you is that we will also be celebrating our October birthdays this evening, and it's going to be a spooky good time.
That sounds so much fun. I can't wait to see who shows up to entertain us. Will you even tell us, are they a singer, are they a dancer, are they a poet?
I don't think I can tell you any of that.
Okay, you better show up or you better tune into 954.
It's going to be a night to remember.
A Saturday morning from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. we have our second annual Trunk or Treat.
Trunk or treat.
Trunk
What
or treat.
is a trunk or treat?
So do you know what trick or treating is?
Well, yes, you go to doors and strangers give you candy.
Yes. So trunk or treat is like that, but you go to cars. You go trunk to trunk to trunk. And this year we are teaming up with Downtown Holland's Trick or Treating, so we are expecting a ton of children.
All dressed in their best costumes.
Yes, so either come out and help us hand out candy or come out and just enjoy the children. I love to see kids dressed up in their costumes.
Oh, it's so fun, and they don't really know what to do about trick-or-treating, but they know they want the candy.
So they'll do whatever it takes.
It's so cute. That's going to be so fun. And do we have any videos from last year or pictures from last year?
I think we do. That's a great idea. Let's show everyone how much fun we had last year.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. They did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five. They played the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They played the monster mash. Out from his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?" It's now the monster mash. And It's a graveyard smash. It's caught on in a flash. It's now the Monster Mash. Now everything's cool, Drax a part of the band, and my Monster Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent you. Then you can Monster Mash and do my graveyard smash. You'll catch on in a flash. Then you can Monster Mash.
And after we've had a morning of fun trunk-or-treating, we will be taking a bus to the Grand Rapids Choir of Men and Boys concert for their Fall Festival Evensong, which will feature English sacred music. The bus will only go if there are at least 10 signed up, so make sure to register on community apps. So there you have it, everyone. A week filled with outings, mystery, and fun events.
Yes. And now, we would like to take a moment to introduce some newer faces in our community. Last month, during our
This Is Your Life.
This Is Your Life social, we started a new format of introducing new residents where we played a nice video, getting to know them a little bit.
And we wanted to showcase that on the Monday morning show as well, so we will be showing these new resident interviews now.
I'm Pat Carlson, and I live in apartment 272. The last place I lived was in Fruitport, and I had to give that up because of health. I needed more help. And before that, I lived in Grand Haven for over 30 years. And basically before that, I put my husband through school at Michigan State, and we lived in Utica 1 year, and that rest of it's been Grand Haven or, like I said, Fruitport. I won a ticket for dinner for two at one of those senior outings, and I was very impressed with the place. And then I did, before I picked this one for sure, because that was like 20 some years ago, and I visited a couple others, and they just have such a utilitarian feel to them, or like you're in a hospital, and I didn't like that. I don't think you feel as good as you do where you're here, you're treated like royalty. The original family, I was one of 5, right in the middle, a brother 12 years older and a brother 12 years younger. And let's see, my older, not the oldest, but my older brother went to Michigan State, so did I, and so did my younger brother and sister, and my husband, my son, his first wife. So we bleed green, definitely. And I have 2 granddaughters, one that graduated and she's waiting to get into veterinary school, and the youngest one of the first group of kids is a sophomore there now. One lives in Allendale, my daughter lives in Grand Haven, so not too far. My career was interesting. I started in 7th grade teaching math, and then I had a baby, and then when I came back, of course, you weren't guaranteed your position, so they put me in 8th grade, and for a couple of years, and then we had quite a crisis. We lost about half our staff overnight back in the 70s because of a money crunch, and they were hiring back the people. Well, the guy that, one of the last ones that they could call back, he did not have a major in math. And they want a major in math at the high school, so they moved me to the high school against my will and against my principal's feelings. He really fought to keep me, but so many good things happened. The first year I ended up with a workshop with NASA for 2 weeks, and out of that we got invited to a space shuttle launch in the VIP section. Wow. It was the last successful launch of the Challenger. We got to meet Krista McAuliffe and Barbara Morgan, and that was just fantastic. Wow. So it hurt a little bit more when that tragedy occurred. And then I had a 3-year workshop with Michigan State working on algebra, and that led to working on standards for the state and national. I also worked with the State Department of Ed for math, on different projects, and I had a nice one, 4-week one at Princeton University, and boy, were the people there so smart. Yeah, oh my gosh. I worked with the University of Chicago two different times. On their first edition of the Algebra 1 book, I was the control teacher, so I taught my normal stuff. And then a few years later, when they revised it, I got to do the experimental stuff, and that was interesting because your book is in manuscript form with black and white, no pictures. And I'm trying to think of what else I did along that line, but I did not want to be moved to the high school, but so many good things happened. You just never know. Well, I had more before. I used to do line dancing, belly dancing, tap dancing at the senior center, Zumba, that type of thing, but health has limited me. I'm hoping to get back to line dancing here, keeping my fingers crossed. I like to read mysteries, do sudokus, and crossword puzzles. I'd like to see a crazy bunco group, because cards you've got to think too hard, and you really can't socialize as much. But with crazy bunco, where you just roll the dice and you keep changing tables, you get to meet a lot of people. So hopefully somebody would. I've got the stuff, but I don't know how to start it. So maybe somebody will help us out.
Yes.
Well, we moved from a home on the north side, but we lived there for about 22 years. And before that, we lived in Minnesota for about 35 years.
Wow.
So we've made 2 moves. Well, our kids and grandkids live nearby in Holland, and we just wanted to be near them. And then after my husband passed away a year ago last March, I just thought it was time to sell the house and get rid of that maintenance. And so I had a friend that lived here, and she kind of kept her eye out for a place. She knew what I would like. And then I had a talk with Jason, and after some muffins and goodies, we found an apartment for me. Yes, I have 3 sons. The oldest one is Dan. He's single, always has been single. He's actually a physician, but he's doing research in New Mexico for Johns Hopkins. They have a Native American Studies program at Johns Hopkins, and this research is part of that. I see him once in a while. He came last August, and I could get a fold-away bed for him in my apartment, fit right into my sun porch. So we had a good time. My middle son is Doug. He's the one that lives here in Holland. They have 3 children and 2 they have grandchildren, and I have 2 great-granddaughters now. I don't know how much you want to know about my kids, but Doug has been an engineer at Herman Miller for as long as they've stayed here, probably 30-some years.
Wow.
And his wife was also an engineer there, but she quit after having 3 children and then started up again after they were in high school. But she retired, and now she helps with her grandchildren. And then my youngest son lives in Grand Rapids. He is a physician at Corewell Health, I have to think. And he and his wife Molly have 2 children. One just finished college, and one is in her senior year in college. So that's it for our family. Well, mostly I stayed home. After they were in high school, I worked for a laboratory kind of as a gopher. I did most everything because it was just a startup company. And I worked there for about 14 years, and during that time, well, they just hit it at the right time of the market, and it really expanded a lot. So when I was the only employee when I started, it ended up with about 300 employees and about 3 branch offices. But I never worked more than part-time. I just enjoyed my work. My husband was a general practice physician all of his life in one place in Roseville, Minnesota. Well, mostly I read a lot. I'm kind of an introvert and I enjoy books, and so being in the library is kind of a treat. And I enjoy the books they have here, but as long as I can drive, I drive to the Herrick Library because I don't want to read all the good ones before I can't drive. So, yeah, other than that, I don't really have a lot of hobbies. I used to do some crocheting and stuff, but you know how it is when your eyes and hands don't work as well anymore, so give up a few things. I haven't made a big point of finding things, but I think eventually I will need a little bit more socialization. My husband, after he retired, he worked for many years for Habitat for Humanity building. So he had a nice career following his retirement.
Mary Mulder?
And John Mulder, and we're in 451.
No, we were in Louisville, Kentucky for 40 years, and yet our grandchildren were in Pennsylvania. So we made the decision to be close to them. But the problem was they're very busy and we were busy and in poor health, so we decided not to stay there. I taught at community colleges, writing the freshman composition course most colleges require, and I loved it.
It all goes back to when I went to Louisville, and Mary was with me, and 2 of our children were very, very young. I was appointed the president of the Presbyterian Seminary in Louisville, and I took Mary aside one night and I said, now look, this is going to be a different kind of life. It's going to be very stressful for all of us, and I think we need to find a place that's a getaway. And she said, great, I want water. And I said, I want a good library. And so the combination of Hope's Library and Western's Library filled the bill for me, and Lake Michigan filled the bill for her. Reading, now that we're more fully moved in, I look forward to making more use of the gymnasium and the exercise equipment. So reading and exercise. Well, I am intrigued by some of the special meetings of interest groups, like the stock market interest group. That would interest me, and I'm involved with the all men's group at Hope Church. It meets weekly, and they read stuff together and mix it up, and I've only been there once, but my brother is a part of the group, and he spoke very highly of it. So when we talked about going here, people said, well, you'll know tons of people inside Freedom Village. Well, the exact opposite was the case. We didn't know a soul, but we've got a ton of relatives and friends in Holland, so.
Well, I've been trying the book groups. We have 2 children, our daughter in Atlanta, she's single, and our son is the one in Pennsylvania. He and his wife have 4 children, so that keeps us busy with them or nearby.
You start.
Our poor health, for one, we're in Pennsylvania, and we decided that we needed to do something about our health. We have had a summer place here for 40 years. We knew that Holland existed and that Freedom Village was here.
We, or at least I, don't recall ever having been inside.
Okay.
But
we met Steve, and over the course of probably about 3 weeks, we got a pretty good picture of what was offered here and what we could afford. The thing that sold me on Freedom Village was the fact that when we came over here, when we were still under Steve's wing, everybody was so friendly and welcoming. We'd be walking down a corridor and pass somebody, and they saw that we didn't have the usual badge, and they'd say, "Are you visiting? Are you thinking of coming here?" And when we said yes, and then they said, "Well, you will love it. You will love it here." And that kind of affirmation came from staff as well as residents. That wasn't phony or anything, and it's all been true.
And what a warm welcome that was to our new friends. We are so excited to have them here.
Yes, it's always so great to see our community growing and thriving. Please make sure to say hi and welcome them to Freedom Village when you see them around the hallways.
Well, that's it for today's show.
Ooh.
We hope you have a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you at all of the great events we have lined up for this week.
Take good care, everyone.
And until next week, that's Ashley.
That's Noah.
And this has been Monday Morning. We'll see you next week. Bye.